Now, the US government is reviewing risks to national security following a major leak of classified defence documents. Officials are trying to identify the source of the leak after papers revealed sensitive details of US and NATO assistance to Ukraine in its war with Russia. The documents, which media reports say surfaced on social media platforms, also contain military secrets regarding China and the Middle East. So are there likely to be more leaks? Here's White House National Security Council spokesman John Kirby.
So we're taking this very, very seriously. There is no excuse for these kinds of documents to be in the public domain. We don't know who's responsible for this, and we don't know if they have more that they intend to post. So we're watching this and monitoring it as best we can. But the truth and the honest answer to your question is we don't know. And is that a matter of concern to us? You're darn right it is.
Meanwhile, officials in Ukraine are worried the leaks could complicate its efforts to defeat Russia on the battlefield. A source close to the Ukrainian president has told US news network CNN that the leaks prompted Ukraine to alter some of its military plans. This, as US intelligence suggests, dwindling Ukrainian ammunition stocks could see the battle in the east of the country heading towards a stalemate for the rest of 2023. Now, it comes as Russian forces continue to pound Ukrainian positions around the besieged eastern city of Bakhmut.
Top secret US government documents that were definitely not meant to see the light of day, detailing Ukrainian armaments, weapons deliveries, Russian maneuvers, and spying on allies. Among the revelations, Ukraine's air defenses are allegedly in danger of running out of ammunition in a few weeks. Ukraine's troop losses are said to be high, but not as high as Russia's. There are also hints at NATO plans to support the Ukrainian military in an upcoming spring offensive.
I think the Russians already knew all this. This is information that's come to light for us, but none of this will be new to the Russians or to the Ukrainians. So yes, of course, there's a vulnerability if we're not able to help Ukraine get more munitions or more systems for their air and missile defense. But I think they will have already anticipated what those vulnerabilities are.
Russia is playing up Washington's spying on allies and the tensions that might cause.
You've seen the leaks. They're quite interesting. They're being studied, analyzed, and widely discussed. The fact that the US has been spying on various heads of state for a long time, especially in the European capitals, has already caused various scandals. That's known.
Some of the material distributed online appears to have been altered, but the Pentagon is racing to find the source of the leaks. Experts say it's unlikely that outsiders were able to steal the data and suspect that it might have been an inside job.
We can get more from DW's special correspondent, Aya Ibrahim, who joins us from Kyiv. Welcome, Aya. Is there any hope for those few civilians that are trapped in Bakhmut?
Well, Phil, it's been difficult to get accurate information out of Bakhmut over the past couple of weeks since it has become a major flashpoint in this conflict. But what we do know with great certainty is any semblance of civilian life in Bakhmut has probably completely disappeared at this point. Just to give our viewers a bit of context, pre-war Bakhmut had a civilian population of about 70,000. I'm told by volunteers who were trying to evacuate people from Bakhmut that number now is around 1,000 to 2,000 or so. And it's mostly civilians like old people who refuse to evacuate at this point, saying, as we've heard in Shasifyar in the report, saying, this is all I have, this is all I know, or people who just lack the resources, who just can't see what life for them would be like outside of the place that they've known all of their lives. And, we do know that this has become an important place, Bakhmut, for both sides, Russian and Ukrainian. And so we can say that, life there is probably impossible at this point for civilians.
And talk us through the Ukrainian reaction to this leak of secret US intelligence about the war.
Well, we can't imagine that they're particularly amused by this. The Ukrainian side has been throughout this war very guarded about its information, what it says to the outside world. Bakhmut is a great example. It's actually very, very difficult to get exact information from Ukrainian officials about what's going on there. We've heard from officials saying that this is, that there's Russian misinformation in there, somehow trying to dismiss them. But we know, of course, from the American side that the authenticity of these documents has been confirmed. We've also heard from other Ukrainian officials. These have been reports saying that, while the overall strategy of Ukraine will not change because of these leaks, the tactics that go into that strategy will likely have to be adjusted to make sure that the Ukrainian side is not compromised so much.
And one of the leaked documents indicates that Ukraine's air defence arsenal could be depleted within weeks. Talk us through what that's likely to mean for day-to-day life in Ukraine.
That would be absolutely devastating. I mean, the reason why I'm able to stand here and speak to you outside with a clear sky, it's a beautiful sunny day here in Kiev, is thanks to these air defense systems. That has been what has guaranteed civilian life here in the capital and in many other parts of Ukraine throughout the war. Our viewers will remember in the early stages of the war, Ukrainian demands about closing the sky, because at the very beginning they just didn't know what was coming at them. You had, attacks from the sky coming on civilians all the time, and thanks to these air defense systems, that's what has, to a large extent, saved civilian lives and life, and of course they've been crucial on the battlefield. So that would be absolutely devastating, Phil.
Thanks for that, Aya Ibrahim in Kyiv.
Let's get more on the story from Carolina Chimoy, our correspondent in Washington, D.C. It's good to see you, Carolina. I want to start by asking you, how bad does this look for U.S. intelligence, or is such intelligence gathering almost expected?
This definitely doesn't look good at all, Nimisha. We have to remember that this is the most significant leak of classified U.S. documents in years. We're talking here about highly classified Pentagon documents that provide information not only about the weakness in Ukraine's air defense and ammunition reserve, but it also provides a rare window into how the U.S. spies on allies, including South Korea, Israel, and Ukraine. Ukraine has changed now some of its military plans because of the leak, and that already shows us how serious this is. However, it is also important to mention that it is not clear yet if all documents are authentic or if some have been manipulated. The Pentagon and the Justice Department are investigating.
And what kind of damage control are officials planning there, given what a significant impact this could already have on the war?
Well, there is an ongoing criminal investigation that is being led by the Pentagon, but also the Justice Department, and other departments might be involved in this investigation as well. And that is also everything we hear from the White House, for example. They say that the results of this investigation are important in order to plan the next steps, to see how they will react, and also to know what the potential damage might be. There is this ongoing investigation from Pentagon and Justice Department, and they are not only trying to find out how the documents got into Twitter and the other platforms, but also what damage they could cause and whether any more documents might be leaked.
So speaking of more documents that may be leaked, this investigation will try to find out how they got out there, but is there an expectation that they'll be able to block any future leaks? Are they expecting more to follow?
Well, that is definitely an existing fear that more documents might be leaked, and that we might see more of these documents on Twitter, on Telegram, or on the other social media platforms. And this is why there is this ongoing investigation on that. And this is also precisely what the administration is trying to stop. The White House mentioned in today's press briefing that the main concern is that the documents are out there and that they shouldn't be there. The Pentagon and the Justice Department, they will definitely try to prevent this. But there is still this existing concern, yes.
DW's Carolina Chimoy following that story for us from Washington, D.C. Thank you.